What's going on, everyone? Hopefully you're having a wonderful Monday. Chargers Now is presented by Prize Picks. I'm your host, Will Ortner. We're talking about the best move of the offseason for the Los Angeles Chargers, and I think it would be easy for most people to pick a player that the Chargers didn't make a move or a decision on. But to me, it seems pretty simple. Mike McDaniel was the best move that the Chargers made in the NFL offseason, and frankly, I think that it might be the best move that anyone made in the NFL offseason. The Los Angeles Chargers went from a team that was able to get into the postseason. They were pretty solid, pretty good, but not really a true blue AFC title contender, not really a championship contender. And, well, simply by osmosis, your offensive line is going to be better because, well, you're healthier. But really, the Chargers made a bold move. They fired Greg Roman. They made the decision that they were going to go all in with Mike McDaniel. And that move, it's already paying off in a big way just by the simple news that we've learned from the NFL offseason. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel. We're going to keep you covered every single day. Latest rumors on the Chargers, latest news on the Chargers. You don't want to miss any of those types of things, so make sure that you hit that subscribe button. We're on the road right now to 5,000 subscribers. Help us get there. Hit that button. The first big part of McDaniel's impact that's being felt is, well, Justin Herbert's already better than he was, and he was a top 10 QB in the National Football League. Now, when we look at his last 4 seasons, again, remember that Herbert has had to deal with some injury type things and injury deals, but Herbert's been great. He's an easy 20 touchdown a year guy. He's a borderline 4,000 passing yards a year guy. Probably has it last year if he doesn't have to miss that game with his injury. If he's not getting beat up in every game, looking like he's in a car crash, I bet you those interception numbers go down. His completion percentage gets higher and higher each year. And that was in a Roman offense that was boring, was easy for defenses to figure out. They knew what was coming. That was really Justin Herbert just saying, I'm effing awesome, so I'm going to go make things happen. Mike McDaniel is saying, I don't need that anymore. I'm going to chase edges with you, and I'm going to help you learn how to throw the football quickly, get the ball out of your hand fast, get it to different players. He's completely rebuilt his stance. Herbert has never thrown this way. The idea is to get the ball out quicker and be more accurate with the football. He's adjusted how he's throwing and his throwing motion. That's to, again, get the ball out quicker and get it to his receivers more accurately, something that Herbert was already doing. Plus, the Chargers aren't having him throw the football all that much right now to save his arm, so he's able to maintain that throw power as the season goes, where most players, you see them take a step back. When you look at Tua, obviously the last quarterback that was coached by Mike McDaniel, you can see absurd numbers. He had a 4,000-yard passing year. He had 2 years where if he doesn't get hurt, he's going to end up having 3,000 yards fairly easily. Super high completion percentage, a lot of touchdowns. And I'd make the argument that Tua is not 1, not 2, but probably 3 tiers worse than Justin Herbert. He doesn't have the throw power that Herbert does. Herbert can actually complete balls more than 5 yards down the field. And that's what Mike McDaniel was able to do with Tua, make him an average to slightly above average quarterback. Imagine what Justin Herbert's going to do in this offense. Next, McDaniel has started to unlock Quentin Johnston. Now, to sit here and say that Quentin Johnston has been horrendous, that's incorrect. But when you draft a guy in the first round, you'd hope that he'd end up having 1,000 yards receiving, which Johnston has not been able to do yet in his career. He hasn't had a double-digit touchdown number yet. He gets better every year, but he hasn't reached that point of being a number 1 wide receiver. And what's the point of taking a guy in the first round if he's going to be your 1B or your 2, sometimes your 3? Johnston, from all reports, has gotten better and better and better all offseason long. Now, some of that is because the Chargers are changing how they're going to use him, and instead of him just being a big, deep play explosive guy, they're going to use him to get more yards after the catch. But it certainly feels like the Chargers are going to have a true blue number 1 wide receiver, and it's not going to be old Keenan Allen. And that's a really good thing for this team. We got more to discuss on today's program, but first, I need to let you know that today's show is made possible by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's number 1 sports picks app and is the best place to win cash while watching sports. With the baseball season in full swing, there's no better time to cash in with our friends at Prize Picks. And I'll tell you this, the app is really easy to use. To qualify for a Prize Picks lineup, pick 2 to 6 players and select more or less on stat projections, including hits, home runs, strikeouts, and several others across all sports. One thing I love is the new social feeds feature, where you can share Prize Picks with your friends and copy lineups with a single click. You can actually follow me on the app at BigWill7774 to see all of my lineups. I have a lineup for the football action going on later on this year. Quentin Johnston, more on his receiving TDs. Kenyon Sadiq, more on his receiving TDs. Jackson Smith and Jigba, more on his receiving TDs. New user offer. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to receive $50 in lineups. That's code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to get an extra $50 in lineups with Prize Picks. Clickable link to download the app is in the comments and description. McDaniel's impact on the offensive line is not going to be felt immediately, but I'm telling you it is going to be there. First of all, the way that McDaniel calls an offense is going to make life 1,000 times easier. He uses a lot of 12 personnel. That doesn't force him to tip his hand. His offense is very unpredictable, so people are not able to really go into a year and say, oh, this is what this O-line is going to do. Oh, this is what the D-line is going to do, right? You are able to go into a season and have your offense basically not give away any tendencies. And when they don't give away tendencies, again, the defensive line isn't going to be able to say, oh, O-line's going to do this, we're going to do this. Or linebackers or the entire defense. I'm not even going to talk about bringing in Butch Barry with him because everything that you've heard about this Chargers O-line with Barry being the coach has been immaculate. You look at that depth chart. Again, this is what I think it's going to be after the 53-man roster cutdowns. And I just think you're going to be loaded at that position. Defenses aren't going to be able to look at the offense by formation and say, hey, you know what? This is what they're going to do, and we're going to go tee off on them. It felt like in the Roman offense, guess what? You knew what was coming. Oh, they're in this formation. Here are the 3 plays that can be run. Here are the defenses to stop those 3 plays. That's not what McDaniel does. He's multiple. He has a lot of different looks. He does things a different way. It's going to be great for this Chargers team because defenses, they're going to have to be more reactionary. That makes life a little easier to make plays. What was the Chargers' best move this offseason? Let me know down below in our comment section. Do you think it's a player? Are you with me? Is it Mike McDaniel? Who could it possibly be? Let me know what your opinion is down below. The RB room is going to be more explosive. That's just my personal opinion. I think that last year it was a RB room that was very pieced together. Now, some of it is the offensive line was not great, and so that obviously hurt the output that you were going to get from these running backs. And then you also had a lot of injuries and games that were missed. So that's something that's, look, it's just going to impact the running back room. But I certainly feel like the stat line that you have from the running backs from last year is going to take a certain step up. Again, this is our depth chart from the 53-man roster projection that I have. And if this is the crew out there, you have a power back in Omarion Hampton. Keaton Mitchell is absolutely blazing. Alec Ingold's going to do a great job of creating matchup nightmares while opening holes. He's a great fullback. It certainly feels like the style that you're going to play, long outside zone, it's not going to allow a lot of these defenses to really pin their ears back and tee off on anyone. I just feel like life got easier for everyone. I feel like this running back room is set up to have 2 great running backs, really 3, that are going to be able to use their superior vision, find the holes, explode through them, and create big plays. McDaniel, he isn't going to tip anything either. So a play could be run to the right, a play could be run to the left. The Roman offense, a lot of times it was, hey, running back's in sidecar. He's next to you in the shotgun, right? Well, here are the plays that can be run to the left. Here are the plays that can be run to the right. Here's what they typically do to the left. Here's what they typically do to the right. Made it pretty easy to figure out what you were going to do. You're going to see a lot more of running backs behind the quarterback, allowing everything to be open, which is great. Lastly, the tight end room, in my opinion, is top of the league. Now, that's not because of necessarily the skill. And again, I'm not attacking anybody for this, right? I just think that when you look at the top tight ends in the league. I don't know that the Chargers have that. But when you look at the 1 through 3 tight ends with this Chargers team, I don't know that there is a crew that is deeper. Gadsden is only going to take steps forward. Charlie Kohler is someone who didn't get enough love and enough attention. He is going to be great, and we all know what David Njoku can be. You got 3 guys that are going to be able to come in and put in a similar output from that tight end position in that tight end room, man. I feel like you got 3 guys that are all somewhere about the same, if not exactly the same. And that's great because you can trust all of them to be out on the field and do the things that need to get done for this team, man. I'm telling you right now, this room is deep. This room is great. And the tight ends are going to be a major player in this offense going forward. In my opinion, Mike McDaniel was the best off-season move for this Chargers team because he completely changed what your offense was. You were a team that snuck into the playoffs as a wild card team. And yes, you got to the playoffs in back-to-back years, but it wasn't good enough. This is a team that should be better. And the talent around this team should drive the Chargers to not getting into the playoffs, to winning a round or 2 or 3 or maybe even 4. But you weren't going to do that under the last regime at offense. Mike McDaniel, he's going to be able to help you do that. And I'm very excited to see what this Chargers team is in the 2026 season. Hit that subscribe button. We are, 2-3 weeks away from training camp getting underway. Depends on where you consider training camp starting, whether it's when the rookies report or whether it's when the entire team reports, veterans report a couple days later. I'm telling you right now, subscribe. We're going to have so much fun covering the team. Daily videos. We're going to have watch parties during preseason games. It's going to be great. Hit that sub button. Never miss any Chargers news. Thank you guys so much for viewing today's video. Can't wait to see you next time at Bolt Up.